What is happening, everybody? I am the Architect, and today I am bringing you guys my manga collection video as of January of 2021. Super excited to do this video. I know a few of you have asked for it or expected it. It's finally here, and I'm just super pumped to get into everything that I've collected since last June, which is when I started. If you're new here and you're a fan of manga, I post weekly manga-related videos, so if you enjoy this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And go ahead and bop the subscribe button on the way out if you want to see more content just like this. Down in the description, you'll find links to my social media as well as my Right Stuff affiliate link. If you order anything from Right Stuff and you use my link, I get a portion of every purchase, which goes back into the channel for giveaways and other cool things that just allow me to make better content for you guys. So if you want to do that, it's down there. But enough of that, let's go ahead and get right into the collection. There probably won't be a ton of editing. I just want to kind of make a chill video of me going through everything I have and talk a little bit about it. Maybe get into how I started collecting and everything like that. So without further ado, let's get started. So let's get going, guys. We're going to start at the very top here, and you will see a few box sets you've probably seen in past videos with the Dragon Ball box set, the Silent Voice box set, and the Death Note box set. Now I got these very early on when I started collecting back in June. And I wanted to get into some series that I knew I would enjoy when I first started. So I was a big fan of the Dragon Ball anime when I was growing up. Dragon Ball basically got me into anime way back in the day, man. I was a Toonami viewer, if that tells you anything, like early 2000s, coming home from school, turning on Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, and everything that was on there. So I definitely wanted to pick up that box set. The Silent Voice box set I've mentioned in a previous video. I listed this as the best manga that I read in 2020. Obviously the anime movie was based off of this manga, and I wanted to pick up the manga because I knew it was going to have more than the movie could offer, and it was fantastic. One of the best manga series that I've read thus far. And of course Death Note. Death Note, I'll mention more later, but Death Note was one of the reasons that I got into manga to begin with, and again we'll get into it once we get to where they're at on the shelf. But yeah, Death Note is wonderful as well. Coming down to the first shelf, and we have 1 through 23 of One Piece. This is the first box set, and you've probably seen this in my backdrop for a lot of my unboxing and manga haul videos. Honestly, you know, I haven't really been much into One Piece, and hold on, let me fix Ho-Oh here because this is a little figurine I got when I had Pokemon Heart Gold back in the day. But anyway, I never really got into One Piece as a kid, even though it was really at the peak of popularity when I was younger. I was always a Dragon Ball guy or a Bleach guy, never really One Piece, but finally got the first box set earlier this year. I've been reading more of it, and honestly, I just got through, I think, volume 8? Was it? Let me see if it was volume 8. Sorry for a little bit of shake here. Yeah, volume 8. I just finished volume 8, and honestly, these two volumes, or these three, are what actually got me completely sold on One Piece. The Don Krieg fight. I'm good to go on One Piece now, man. I want to see what happens next. You know, the first few volumes were just, you know, characters. Ho-Oh doesn't want to stay up, man. Come on, man. But yeah, this was a. You know, I was never, like I said, I was never into One Piece, but reading these volumes here really got me going. The first few volumes were just sort of getting the band together, kind of good-hearted stuff. The Don Krieg fight had some drama, though, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes from here. I know it's going to get crazier from here, so yeah, I'll probably finish these and then try to get the second box set. It'll be fun. And next, coming over here, we got the Dragon Ball box set, as I mentioned up there. We have 1 through 12 and then 13 through 16 right there. I read all of this earlier this year, finally got through them all. Just flat out nostalgia for me. I know Dragon Ball is not perfect. It's got a lot of flaws with it, but Dragon Ball will always have a place in my heart as one of the first anime/manga series that I got involved with, that I really enjoyed. I remember getting old Shonen Jump issues and reading Dragon Ball and that. It's just been a staple of my life for most of my life, so I definitely had to get my hands on this. I'm going to be trying to get the Dragon Ball Z box set at some point, but for now, I'm happy to have this. And now moving over, and we see something that I just recently got. So this is brand new. You guys haven't seen this yet, unless you follow me on Instagram, which my link's down there. I have some singles of Gantz that I picked up on eBay not too long ago. This is volume 1, and then 3 through 6. As you saw right here, I have the first omnibus of Gantz, but The release schedule for these are just iffy and up in the air. I don't know if I want to actually continue collecting these, but I do want to get more Gants. So I found these for a really, really good deal on eBay. I mean, these are ridiculously out of print, so anybody who knows anything knows that these are hard to come by, and they're very, very expensive. So the fact that I got these for just a little bit over regular retail price, I mean, looking at the price without showing too much skin, because some of these back covers are something else. Yeah, these are for like $13 retail. I had to pay a little more than retail to get these, but honestly, when you consider that some of these single volumes go for like 60, 70, 80 bucks on eBay, this, in my opinion, was a really, really good deal. So I've started my journey of trying to collect all of Gantz. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, because again, I mean, there's people on eBay selling entire collections of this for $2,000. Not even kidding. So it's going to be a challenge, but I'm going to be getting more when I can. If I can, it'll be fun. Next, we have volumes 1 and 2 of Chainsaw Man, one of the fun new shonen series that I'm really, really getting into. Yeah, I think volume 3 is coming out soon, and I want to read more of it on the Shonen Jump app, but I haven't yet. I recommend this if you just want to get into a crazy, violent, ridiculous shonen. Chainsaw Man is the ish right there. Next, we got Moriarty the Patriot, volume 1, another new Shonen Jump series that I read last month, and very, very interesting. Follows the basically the arch villain of Sherlock Holmes as he goes from a kid to an adult, and just the different ways that he plays mind games in order to figure out crimes and take down bad guys, or at least at this point. Very, very, very unique shonen, I think, and definitely one that I'm going to be getting more of. Coming down the shelf, number 2, we have 6 volumes of Kaguya-sama Love is War. This is a series I need to get more of. It is one of the funniest anime manga series that I've come across in recent years. I've watched both seasons of the anime. I really recommend the anime, probably even more so than the manga, just the way that they present it, the crazy outlandish situations, and honestly the animation goes way over the top for something that's just supposed to be a romantic comedy. They really, really go full out with that, and it's really enjoyable. Let's just take a look at the one cover of the best girl, Chika. I mean, I love me some Chika, absolutely. So these covers are very, very nice as well. I mean, we have Hayasaka. Hayasaka's like a bias wrecker in this one, but Chika's still best girl ever. But yeah, it's a great romantic comedy series. Definitely recommend this, and especially recommend the anime. Next up, we have the complete series for Death Note 1 through 12, plus an extra volume 1. This was a volume that I bought like 10 years ago in my college bookstore. For whatever reason, I just bought one volume of Death Note and then never collected any more manga for years. And I don't know why. I think there was so much going on with me in college. I was so busy and life was crazy. I just never really I kind of fell out of anime and manga for a while, got back into it a while. It's a long story, but long story short, this is a very, very old version of Death Note. As you can tell from the really awful yellow pages, I never took care of this book at all. I just kind of left it on a shelf, exposed to all kinds of sunlight and elements and stuff like that. So it is super old, but you can tell it's got the old like Shonen Jump Advanced logo. The cover is basically the same as this one, but obviously this one's in much better condition. And I haven't actually read Death Note all the way through. I've only watched the anime, but the anime is still fantastic. I will eventually read all of Death Note. Let's turn this back around. This is unsightly. And then, yeah, I'll eventually get into the rest of Death Note. But for now, it's cool that I have it on my shelf. I just like having it. Coming over here, continuing the Shonen Jump shelf, is 8 volumes of One Punch Man. This is a series I really need to get more of. I don't really need to talk about how great One Punch Man is or how wacky and wild it is. It is fantastic. It is satirical in a way, but has its own story and characters to really draw its own merits from. Plus, I have a Japanese volume 1 that I collected not too long ago, and man, these are so much smaller than the English ones. Plus, it has this sick cover. If I can get this, I might have to do like a cut here. This is what it looks like when you take the slip cover off. And I actually like this cover better than the actual volume 1 in English. this cover just looks insane, and I mean the spines are cool, and of course it has well, that on the back, so just all good all the way around. I'm going to leave that up there right now. That looks cool. Next up, we have 2 volumes of The Promised Neverland. I was a big fan of the anime, still am. I think season 2's out now, which I need to watch. It is a crazy, suspenseful thriller that has one of the best villains that I've seen. It's one of the most complex villains I've seen. Fantastic series. I'm not going to tell you what the twist is. There's a big twist in the first volume, or the first episode of the anime if you want to watch the anime. But Promised Neverland is great. I need to watch season 2. I need to read more of this. I've heard people didn't really care much for the ending, but you know, I'm still going to check it out and make my own opinion of it. But I do enjoy the anime, and I'm going to be getting more of the manga eventually. It's not really a top priority for me right now, but I will be collecting more. Next up, we have volumes 1 through 3 of Spy Family. This is another Shonen Jump series that I've done a first impression video of, so if you want to see what I think of the series, you can go and check out that video. But again, it's a newer series, and it's just a fun action comedy. I love these characters. Anya is just adorable, and yeah, this is pretty fantastic so far. I'm going to be getting the new volume pretty soon. I don't know when it's coming out. I haven't ordered it yet, but I will be collecting this as they come out. It's fun. Volumes 1 through 5 of Demon Slayer. Not much really to say about this either. I watched the anime in its completion, or at least so far. There's going to be more anime coming. There's a movie that came out that absolutely blew up in Japan. I think it became like the highest grossing animated movie of all time in Japan. I could be wrong about that, but I think I'm right about that. I haven't read the manga yet. This gets up to about the battle with the spider demons, which I think in the anime that was like episode 15, 16. I could be wrong. I'm just going off the top of my head. This is completely unscripted. But I do love me some Demon Slayer, and I want to get more of this. I want to read to the end of it. Apparently it ended recently, and I don't want any spoilers. I don't want to know what happens. I'll read it on my own time eventually, either on the Shonen Jump app, or I'll collect more of it. A series that I will be collecting as they come out, though, right here is Jujutsu Kaisen 0 through 7. Yeah, this is the first series I've seen that actually has a volume 0. They released sort of a prequel to volume 1, and I haven't read this yet, so I'm going to be reading this month and talking about it in a reading log video. Very unique. I've never seen a series actually come out with a volume 0, so it kind of looks pretty cool on my shelf going through here. It's going to mess up my count, though, when I go to actually count up how many volumes I have, because I mean I have 8, even though it only goes to volume 7 right now. Complicating things, but I'll handle it, man. I'm pretty good at maths. Coming down here to shelf number 3, I have the complete series for Tokyo Ghoul. You've probably seen this on a lot of my videos. I have Tokyo Ghoul 1 through 14 and Tokyo Ghoul Re 1 through 16. Tokyo Ghoul being one of the first series that I collected when I committed to starting a manga collection. I'd already been familiar with Tokyo Ghoul through the anime, and I'd heard for years that the manga was leaps and bounds better than the anime, and so I wanted to start with that, and I can pretty much agree with them. I mean, the way that they did the ending in Tokyo Ghoul, I can see why people were upset about that. The ending to this series, at least the first part of the series, was pretty fantastic. I don't know why they changed this for the anime. I'll never really understand. I just now broke into Re recently, so so far I'm enjoying it. I haven't really gotten to anything crazy yet, although I got to the end of volume 2, and I think it's about to pick up in a big way. So I will get through Tokyo Ghoul Re, and yeah, this is one of my pride and joys. That's why I put this like front and center in my videos. Boogie Snacks was pretty happy about this when he went over my collection on one of his live streams. By the way, check out Boogie Snacks if you haven't. I mean, I don't really need to give that guy promotion. I mean, a lot of you probably already know about Boogie Snacks, but if you don't, go ahead and check out his channel, man. He's a super chill guy and makes really great content, honestly. But yeah, there you go. Tokyo Ghoul Re, I'm liking it. And now we got a couple of single volumes here. We have Goodnight Poon Poon by Inio Asano, volume 1. I haven't read this yet. I'm waiting to get the rest of them because I want to actually go through this. I've heard it's one of the most depressing series that exists. I did order the rest of the series, but it's mostly out of stock, so I'm waiting for it to come in. but I will be getting into the series once I get the whole series. Same thing with Monster by Naoki Urasawa. I have read this volume, and it just seems like a super cool suspense thriller. I really can't wait to get more. I'm gonna have to reread this once I get the other series. Again, I've ordered the complete series, have not gotten it in. Again, it's mostly out of stock, so there's a lot of stuff that I'm waiting on. So, Right Stuff, I love you, but you need to get moving on some stuff, man. I need these two series complete now. But yeah, Monster, I think I'm gonna really love this. Just a really crazy start to this series. And yeah, most of you know, a lot of you already know what Monster is, so I don't have to go too much into it. Same with Beastars. I have not ordered any more Beastars. I did read the first volume, and it's definitely a series I want to get more of. But yeah, I only got the one volume right now. Seems really cool. I don't know why people have such a big hang up about them being all animals. I know people say, oh, dude, furry. But no, guys, like, honestly, Beastars has some of the most realistic themes of a manga, of any story that I've read so far. I think you guys just need to chill with the whole furry stuff, because if you aren't reading this because you don't want to be perceived as a furry, you need to grow up. You need to just like get over yourselves, because Beastars, I think it's going to be something else. Next up, we have volumes 1 and 2 of Hell's Paradise Chigokuraku. I've done a first impression video on this as well, so if you want to check out that to see my full opinion, I could put the link up in the corner there. Definitely an interesting concept so far, sort of a battle royale type of story on a mystical island with ninjas. Pretty crazy so far, and some of the action has been wild, and I'm really digging the first 2 volumes here. I'm probably going to grab out more. I actually picked this up because I was trying to get free shipping from Right Stuff. I didn't really have any long-term plans for this, but after reading it, I want to kind of catch up with this. This really needs an anime adaptation, honestly. I don't know if it's going to get one. I don't know if one's in the works, but there should be, because this series would be great in anime form. So Mappa, if you're hearing me, Mappa, you've been killing it recently, picking up these crazy series like the next one, Dorohedoro, we're going to talk about. Definitely pick up Hell's Paradise, because this needs an anime series, and you guys should read it too, because I think it's very good so far. And Dorohedoro is, again, 1 through 3. I've ordered more of this. I think it's coming whenever, because Right Stuff is kind of behind on stuff, which is understandable. But this is just a gritty, dark, dystopian type of story with buff people. I mean, it's a unique experience for sure. There's a guy with like a lizard head. You can't see it there because he's got his mask on, but he's got a full-on lizard head. And yeah, it's just wacky and bloody, and there's some dark comedy elements with it, and it's really cool. I actually really like this. It's right up my alley, the stuff that I kind of like. I believe it's a seinen. I think some parts of it are classed as shonen, and then later on it's a seinen. It's a very violent. I believe it's rated M. Yeah, it's explicit. It's rated M for sure. So definitely, you know, this is not for anyone under 18, but it's fantastic so far, and I need to get more. There's 23 volumes in total. I will eventually collect the whole series. Yeah, really enjoyed this. And finishing off this shelf, we have All You Need Is Kill. This is a series that I picked up pretty early on when I started collecting. It's a really quick series to get into, considering the entire series is just in one omnibus. And so I've seen a lot of people have this in their collections, because again, I recommend this to new collectors, because this is a series that is very quick to get into. The whole series is in here, and it's like, I think it's 2 volumes? 2 or 3. It's a very quick story, quick read, and pretty action-packed. This manga, actually, it came from a light novel, I believe, and that light novel inspired the Hollywood movie Edge of Tomorrow, starring Tom Cruise. So if you've ever seen that movie, this is where the story comes from. Now, there have been some details changed, and the ending is completely different. But it's still a pretty interesting story, pretty solid. It has Takeshi Obata, who I believe is the artist from Death Note. Yeah, I think he did the art, I'm pretty sure. But it's a quick little series to get into. If you're a new collector, definitely looking to getting All You Need Is Kill. Real quick series, and it looks pretty cool on your shelf too. And now we're moving to shelf number 4 with Vinland Saga 1 through 11, caught up with the physical releases here in America. I've talked a lot about Vinland Saga in the past and how much I love this series. Right now, I think it is my favorite ongoing series that I've read so far. And these hardcovers look really, really cool lined up with all the colors. This is why I keep this, along with Tokyo Ghoul, I keep this kind of front and center as a backdrop in a lot of my videos, because I love this series. I love everything about it. The artwork is phenomenal. Makoto Yukimura's artwork and his sceneries, and the way he draws facial expressions, it is just fantastic. And the story is compelling. The characters drive the series forward. It has some of the best character development that I've ever seen. Definitely a series I recommend if you're really serious about getting into manga. If maybe you've only read shonen manga, you want to try a seinen series, Vinland Saga is the way to go all the way. And they look good on your shelf like this. Kind of pricey sometimes, but if you can find deals for them, they're worth it, trust me. Next up, we have Message to Adolf by Osamu Tezuka, parts 1 and 2. This is a complete series, and this is a classic. These recently went into stock again. I'm not sure if they're still in stock, but they got brand new releases recently, and so I snatched them up, and I read both these volumes all the way through, and it is a thriller from start to finish, man. It is a ride. There are so many interconnecting stories between characters. It's a historical fiction based in the era of World War II, Germany and Japan, with just bad. I mean, it's a dark series that can get really, really depressing at times, but it is a fantastically written series. You follow these characters, these three characters named Adolf from start to finish, one of them being Adolf Hitler, and it just, you see all the events that happen in their lives and the interconnecting events, and it is quite the story. And it was one of the best manga that I read last year. So if you want to check these out, these are very, very good quality hardcovers as well. And I think they're still available. I'm not entirely certain, but if you can get your hands on them, it's a classic, so it's very, very good. Next up here, we have a couple of Junji Ito manga with Uzumaki and Ghoul. These I picked up again pretty early on. Uzumaki I think I picked up within the first month of me starting my collection, and then Ghoul I picked up later. I need to get some more Junji Ito. I ordered Tomie, and I know he's got a bunch of other series. I know he's got a new manga that just came out this year or late last year. I want to start kind of a full-on Junji Ito collection, because this dude, his artwork, I mean, he is the master of horror manga. I mean, he writes some of the most bizarre, dark, disgusting type of manga out there that you can imagine, man. The horror in this, it's full-on body horror. It's very H.P. Lovecraft in a way, like very Lovecraftian, and it's definitely a bizarre read, but a very, very good read. I personally liked Gyo a little bit better than Uzumaki, but Uzumaki is a good way to start if you're going to get into Junji Ito. It is one of his most notable works. I believe it's getting its own anime adaptation on Adult Swim soon, if it hasn't already, and that's going to be a trip. Oh my god, that's going to be ridiculous. So yeah, definitely need to get me some more Junji Ito. I'm a fan of horror, so this is something I'm going to be focusing on this year. Next up, we have the first two omnibuses of Gambling Apocalypse Kaiji. This is a series I got into recently. Very, very intense story about this high-stakes gambling game that's going on. I need to actually read this already, because I got halfway through this and I was already ordering the second one. This is a classic series, I believe, from the 90s that just got a recent new adaptation, or new release from Denpa. And I've heard that the release schedule for these aren't great. I'm gonna read through the second one and see if I'm still really hooked on it, because the first volume definitely hooked me. I just don't know how I don't know how Denpa's gonna handle the release of these, but these are very, very good quality omnibuses though. So if you want to check that out, it's very, very intense story, and yeah, the artwork turns some people off, the jagged lines on Kaiji's face there, but I don't have an issue with it. I think it's still a great story, and I actually really enjoy some of the artwork that happens, like in these, like some of the shading and some of the stuff is really cool. So honestly, it's good to me, so I think you should check it out. Next, we have the first 4 volumes of Happiness by Shuzo Oshimi. My first Shuzo Oshimi manga. I know his name has been brought up a lot recently in the manga community, and for good reason. This story is super cool, and I'm definitely hooked on it so far. It's very similar to Tokyo Ghoul in a way, just the buildup of the story, except it deals with vampires instead of ghouls. But really, it is fantastic. The artwork is some of the best I've ever seen in some of these volumes. Some of the shots are just fantastic, and I really can't wait to get the rest of the series. It's only a 10-volume series, so I will be picking this up later on the year. This cover in particular, it's still shrink wrapped too, which is nice, but this is one of the coolest covers I have in my collection. It's absolutely fantastic. I love the color swirls and everything. Great stuff. So definitely gonna be picking up more of this in the future. Now we're down here to the next shelf, and we have Golden Kamui 1 through 14. And yes, for those of you who've been watching me for a while, this was like the holy grail for me coming in here. Golden Kamui Volume 2. Took me months to get my hands on this. Thank you, Books A Million, for coming through. Because this was a trip trying to find this series, this volume here. But now I can finally get into the rest of the series. I've still only read Volume 1, but Volume 1 hooked me so much I decided to pick up a bunch of this series. I've heard pretty much nothing but positive things coming out of this series. And if the first volume's any indication, I think I'm going to love this. So I definitely want to jump into this month, and I'll probably talk about it in a reading log video. But these covers are really cool. The changing colors are awesome on the shelf. Yeah, I can't wait to get into more of that. And of course, up here, since I ran out of a lot of room, this is Miya Rukochan Volume 1. I did a first impression of this as well, so you want to check this out. Kind of a horror comedy type of concept with this. Kind of a big twist at the end of this Volume 2. So I will be picking up more of this. Didn't blow me away, but definitely made me laugh a few times. I want to see where this goes, so I will be picking up more of that. Next up, we have volumes 1 through 3 of Grand Blue Dreaming. This is a series that I definitely need to get more of because it is one of the funniest series that I've read thus far. If there was ever such a thing as a dude bro manga, this would be it. It focuses on these college kids who are at a diving club, and it has basically everything you could ask for in it so far. It's basically the Hangover of manga. You got booze, you got awkward situations, you got hot women, hot dudes, everything you could ask for in a manga. I definitely need to get more of this going forward. I think I've started to read Volume 2, and I wanted to wait till I got more. I didn't want to read these and then have to wait, but I might go ahead and read these too, because I'm kind of in the mood for some Grand Blue Dreaming tonight. I might read Volume 2 after I get this finished. But next we have Full Metal Alchemist Full Metal Editions 1 through 4. Haven't read these yet. I actually just love having these. These are some of the best quality manga that I have. I mean, these are just great hardcovers. I was always a fan of Full Metal Alchemist growing up. Loved the anime. Well, I actually watched both. I watched the original anime, and then I watched Brotherhood. Brotherhood obviously was better. It sticks with the original manga closer than the other series, but these hardcovers are just gorgeous, and I think there are 10 of these, or maybe 12. I don't know. There's a lot, but I definitely want to get more because, I mean, look at these, man. The quality is just great. Next up, we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 1 and Part 2 complete. Boy, I love me some JoJo. I've watched the anime series up to early on in Part 4. And I wanted to experience the manga, so I picked up the first 2 parts. I've been wanting to actually read through it recently, so I probably will read what I got here and then start collecting Part 3 and Part 4. I believe Part 5, Golden Wind, is going to be getting a English release soon, so that's something to look forward to for 2021. I got a lot of catching up to do, though. I think there are 10 volumes, hardcover volumes for Part 3. And I don't know how many for Part 4, but I'm going to be checking them out. I'll get there eventually. I'm waiting for Part 3 to go on sale so I can snatch it all at once. But love me some JoJo's, man. And next up we have Soul Eater, the Perfect Edition, Volume 1 and 2. This has a special place in my heart because if you go way back on my channel, way back to August, which seems like forever ago, this was the first video that I made on this channel, well, when I turned this into a manga channel. I did an unboxing video for this, and boy, I think my content's come a long way since then. I look back at that video and I'm like, eesh. Not great, but it was a humble beginning, I suppose you could say. And these hardcovers are very good. Soul Eater is an interesting series. I used to watch the anime, never finished it, so I figured it'd be cool to get the manga series and read it as they come in. These hardcovers are pretty solid, so I'm looking forward to coming out. I think Volume 3 is coming out this month. Volume 4 is coming out April, I think, or March. I don't remember, but I'm going to be picking these up as they come in because they're good quality. Speaking of good quality, we have Battle Angel Elita Deluxe Edition. These are usually kind of expensive, but I got these for a pretty good deal during a holiday sale. And I don't know much about the manga because I haven't read these yet, but I do plan on it. I want to get the entire series. I probably should have gotten the box set, but I kind of wanted to dip my toe in it a little bit to see if I liked it because I was a fan of the live-action movie that came out for Elita. I thought it was one of the best live-action anime manga adaptations I've ever seen. So that's one of the things that compelled me to get the manga and see how I liked it. And these hardcovers are very, very nice. So if I like it enough, I'll go and try to seek out the rest of them. But so far, these first 2 volumes, yeah, I'm happy with that. Next up, we have Blade of the Immortal, Volume 1 of the Deluxe Edition. This was a pricey boy. They're very, very nice Deluxe Editions. I've wanted to get into Blade of the Immortal for a long time because many people see this as one of the best manga of all time. And you know, I'm gonna jump into it pretty soon. I think this has like the first 3 volumes in it. But yeah, this was a price. These new releases are very, very pricey. They're kind of releasing them in the same vein as they do the Berserk Deluxe Editions, and I believe Hellsing has a similar release to this. And it has a ribbon. It has an actual like bookmark ribbon, which is very, very interesting. But Blade of the Immortal, I've heard just amazing things about, so I'm gonna be jumping into that and probably picking these up as they come out. Man, my wallet's gonna hate me, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, moving on, now we have the full omnibus for Clover by Clamp. This is currently the only shoujo series that I own, and I picked this up off a recommendation from a friend, and I talked about this in a previous reading log video. It is one of the most unique things that I own, one of the most unique series that I own. Just the way that the panels and stuff are laid out in the book are just different from most other manga that I've read. It's kind of weird because this series it was never completed. So they have all that's available in this one omnibus, but the story was never fully completed, so you can't really have a full like closure. You know, there's not really a satisfying conclusion to the series, and they may never be. So it is interesting for what it is, though. It's definitely a unique experience. If you want to take a look at some of the panels and stuff to see what I mean about how different it is, so definitely something to look for. And I do want to get more into shoujo manga, so I have some ideas. If you guys have any like suggestions for shoujo manga, put that in the comments section below. I do have some in mind, but I'm always looking for some new ideas for series. So go ahead and let me know. So that's it for this shelf. We're gonna move down into the next shelf in just a second. Now we have the final shelf, and we have a couple of DVDs and Blu-rays that I have as well. This is Ghost Hound. I got this in a blind box recently. I haven't checked it out yet, but I've heard it's kind of mid, honestly. But I'm gonna check it out to see how it is. It's still, as you can tell, in the shrink wrap. Next up, we have the complete series, like first 3 seasons of When They Cry, Higurashi no Nakokoro ni. Really, really crazy horror anime. I love it. I'm going to be watching the whole series soon. And then we have one of the best anime movies of all time, Your Name, Kimi no Nawa. I do need to get a silent voice because I still think that a silent voice is slightly better than this. I loved Your Name, trust me, I love Kimi no Nawa, but Koi no Katachi, I think it's just a little slightly better, but I will get that later, but still a very good Blu-ray right there. Then I got 2 more blind box items that I got in recent videos. This is Shining Hearts, which is still in the shrink wrap, and Hayate, the Combat Butler Season 3, which is still in the shrink wrap. If you guys, I mean, if any of you want to like buy this off of me, if you want it, I can sell it to you, I can give it to you. If you're a fan of any of these series that I have shrink wrapped, let me know. I might be able to set something up with you guys. Just contact me on Instagram or whatever, because I don't know if I'm going to actually watch these. I still got them in the shrink wrap, so, you know, just let me know. Anyway, on this shelf now we have volumes 1 through 10 of Komi Can't Communicate. Really, really wholesome, funny, slice of life type of comedy series about a girl who just can't communicate, and all the wacky shenanigans that she gets in with her friends. It is just a fun, lighthearted read, and I'm enjoying the series so far. I'm halfway through volume 4, and they just introduced a new character that actually absolutely had me dying, and I had to stop reading because I was laughing too hard. So I'm gonna get through that and read the rest of the series. Very, very good. Then we have volumes 1 through 9 of Ajin Demi-Human. I just started reading volume 1, as you can tell here. Definitely an intriguing story so far. I've heard really, really good things about this series. I believe it also has an anime adaptation that's decent. I'm going to be checking out this. I think it's a 14-volume series. I picked up the first 9. The volumes are, they look good on my shelf. If they are a little bit small and pricey. I mean, I think these volumes are small, but they're like $13 a volume or something retail. Is it? I mean, I think it is. Let me just pick one of these up and look at the back here. Yeah, look at $12.95 USD. Yeah, it's a pricey boy, but so far the series is really good. Again, I've just broken into it. It intrigues me, and I want to see what it has in store for me. So, very nice. And now we have the quintessential quintuplets. This was one of the first series that absolutely had me enthralled with it. I have volume 12 coming in. I'm going to be collecting the entire series, which is 14 volumes once they all come out. I've already read to the ending, and as I mentioned in previous videos, I wasn't a big fan of the ending. I'll probably do a full review on it once the 14 volumes come out. Maybe I'll reread the whole series, and maybe I'll come to a different conclusion about it once I reread it. I don't know. Time will tell about that, but for now, it is a very, very nice, very funny romantic comedy. It is really a wild ride for most of the series. Yeah, the ending kind of, is a drag, but some people might not see it the same way I do. But it really is funny. It's wholesome. It's a harem story, but it's a wholesome harem. Very, very little fan service. Definitely recommend it if you like rom-com, those kind of stories. It is a ride. It is a fun ride. Just trying to figure out who the guy is going to marry in the end out of these 5 quintuplets. Yeah, it is it is a ride, and so I do recommend it. Maybe you guys won't hate the ending. I didn't hate the ending. I just was kind of like, yeah. But anyway, I think you guys will like it. Next up, we have Living Stone, the entire series, complete 1 through 4. I will be reading this, and I will be doing a full review on this series. But this caught my eye because it was from the same, I always mess this up. I think it was the same writer as Dead Man Wonderland, which I love the anime of Dead Man Wonderland, and Dead Man Wonderland is a series I want to pick up in manga form. But I will be doing a full review of this. The covers are definitely interesting. So I have no idea really about the story. I haven't even read the back yet, like the synopsis. I'm just going to put you up there for right now. I'm trying to use one hand. But anyway, Living Stone, I'm going to be checking that out soon. And yeah, it seems rather interesting. Next we have volumes 1 through 5 of Noragami. I have been wanting to pick this up for some time, and I haven't read this yet either. There's a lot that I still need to read, but I've heard really just positive things about this. I've heard about the anime for years, and I don't think the anime completed the entire series yet. So this is everything I've heard about this has been high praise. So I'm going to read these first 5 volumes and see if it's worth picking up more. I think I probably will end up picking up more, but for now, yeah, it definitely intrigues me. Next, we have a lone volume here of High School of the Dead, Volume 1. This series is my guilty pleasure series. I watched the anime for it, and the anime was awful, but great, if that makes any sense. It's sort of like just a cheesy, over-the-top zombie action anime with fan service out the yin-yang. If Quintessential Quintuplets is like a wholesome series, this is the polar opposite of that. The one bad thing about this series is the fact that the mangaka unfortunately passed away years ago, so we will never get a true ending of this series. There are 7 volumes of the manga that came out, so I will either collect those, or I believe there's 2 omnibuses that have the complete series. I might go ahead and spring for that because it's kind of hard to find the singles. If I can find someone selling the whole series for a relatively good price, I might swipe it. But for now, I'm just going to stick with the 1 volume, and I might go with the omnibuses later. It's not really a high priority. I just kind of wanted to buy it because, again, it's got a spot in my heart. Anyway, next we have the first 4 volumes of Kakegurui. This manga is sort of in the same vein as Kaiji up there, being this is really intense gambling manga. This has an anime series on Netflix. That's how I first heard about this series, and I wanted to try to pick up the manga. They had a, I think Right Stuff had this in a bundle pack one time, so I went ahead and picked it up. Haven't really read much of the manga. I've seen quite a bit of the anime. Anime's nuts. Honestly, I think I would recommend the anime more than the manga for this, because, boy, there's some events that happen in that. There's some characters that are just, man, they're a few cards short of a full deck, we'll say that. And it is very interesting. So I would watch the Netflix anime if I were you. I don't know if I'm going to be collecting more of Kakegurui in manga form. I might end up selling these, actually. We'll see in the future. But for now, I do like the black and white alternate, like the way the spines do. I think that's cool. If I do collect more, it would look kind of cool having them all lined up like that. But yeah, it is a fun series so far, at least the anime. And next, oh boy, I get to talk about this again. This is one of the most unique things that I own, and honestly, this manga could go right to the top, man. This is Dog Ningen. As I mentioned in my manga haul, again, it has an alternative title, Dog Ningen, but this was actually made by a YouTuber. I believe it was a DH Animation, so go ahead and check that guy out. If you want to check out, there it is. Go ahead and check that out. I haven't read this yet. I'm going to be reading it soon. I've flipped through the pages. The artwork is definitely unique. The story is definitely unique. And I do love like the black pages on here. I don't really see that. You don't really see that on a manga. And of course, it still reads right to left. So this is technically the front cover, kind of. But yeah, Dog Ningen is, man, it's a classic in the making. Trust me. And last but not least, we have Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out, Volume 1. I honestly, months ago, I literally just bought this for the lulz. It was around the time that the anime came out, and Twitter was absolutely having a fit over Uzaki's body shape and proportions, I guess you could say, because, I mean, Sugoi Dekai indeed. But, I literally bought it as like a troll purchase. I have watched a little bit of the anime. It is funny. Uzaki can be a little bit overbearing as a character, but there are some genuinely funny moments that I found in the anime. I haven't finished the season yet, but it is what it is. It is enjoyable. People, I think, overreacted on Twitter about stuff. I mean, if people aren't arguing on Twitter, then it's not really much of a day on Twitter. But I don't know. I picked it up. I might pick up more later down the line. I haven't read this yet. I've seen the anime, or at least part of it. It seems like a decently funny series, and I might go ahead and pick up more, or I might end up selling this. Really don't know. It's not really high on my priority list. I just thought it was kind of funny when I picked it up because everybody was just ready to burn this series to the ground. So there you have it, guys. In its entirety, my manga collection. I would love to see what you guys think. If there's any suggestions on series you want me to pick up in the future, leave those in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys are reading, collecting, all that stuff. I plan on having a much bigger collection than this in the future. I plan on moving sometime this year, hopefully to a bigger place where I can have more space to put bookshelves, more space to just absolutely splurge and be reckless with the spending, just throwing money at this little hobby of mine. Not really, man. I'm being responsible. I'm only paying for what I can afford, so I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm not that compulsive, but I just really enjoying this hobby, and yeah, I'm just having the time of my life, honestly. So if you guys watched this all the way to the end, thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and drop me a like. If you didn't like it, drop me a dislike, and subscribe if you want to see videos just like this one. So on that note, I am the Architect, and I'll see you in the next video.